Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today I have a list called Best och Best and Most Disappointed Albums of 2023, also this year. I ranked the best and the most disappointed metal albums of this year. And the rank is on the best albums is the 15 in the list, and the most disappointed albums is only 5 because I don't have listened so much of full albums this year, so I have a lot of music to catch up with, but here is the albums I have at least. So on the place on the number 10 best albums of 2023 goes to this band, Cattle Decapitation, Terracite, and that album alone tells you what the band is. It's not a bad album. It's just that I find it not as great as the album before. It is still brutal as usual. The vocals, as always, is the highlight for me. But it still make it to the top 10 for me. Mainly just that I don't have listened to enough full albums from this year. So this takes place number 10. If I have that time or desire to listen to a lot more albums this year, maybe this album is not on this list. But we'll continue on number 9, and some albums I don't have so much to say about. So number 9 is a band called Anarita, I think, and the album called Fear Not. This album is not for everyone. It blends orchestral pieces with intense black metal vocals, and that is something you don't hear every day. Have some unique feeling towards it. I really like it, and that's why it has this place on this list. I really like this album. It will not be for everyone, but it have a lot of orchestral pieces with intense black metal vocals, and that just alone is amazing. We'll continue to the next place, and on number 8 is Hellripper with the album called Warlocks, Grim and Withered Hags. Fast and furious with a lot of aggression. Maybe the best band that, for me at least, merge black metal, thrash metal and speed metal. Have a lot of good blending with these genres. Black metal, thrash metal and speed metal. Have interesting guitar pieces, parts. This album earns this place. The guitar is doing, as I said, interesting things. So number 8 is Hellripper with the album called Warlocks, Grim and Withered Hags. Number 7 on the best album of this year is Ahab with the album called The Coral Toms. It is slow, monstrous. Ahab knows they know how to do funeral doom or very slow music. They know how to make it sound interesting and fun to listen to. I think this Ahab artist band is one of my favorites in this category, funeral doom, which I am usually not the biggest fan of, but this band does it for me. It's just perfect and deserves this place. And number 6 is Nanowar of Steel and the album called Dislike to False Metal. The most fun album, funniest album of this list. The band don't take them so serious, and which is for me a good thing when you're doing something like this that are joking around with a lot of stuff, and that is also nice to see that they don't take them so serious, which is important for me to connect with something like this. And the music overall is good. They have this album is maybe the most metal album from them, but they have a lot of reggae, disco. They have a song called disco metal, so they are joking around a lot, and but I really like this album. They are very fun to listen to. I don't think I will be tired about this album for a while. I really just fun to listen to. And number 5 on the top 10 best albums of 2023 is Tom Mold, The Enduring Spirit. This is the best death metal album of this year, in my opinion. It's a little bit more technical, a little bit more difficult maybe than a lot of other death metal albums this year. The bass even have a solo and are a lot more present than a lot of other death metal albums of this year. So the best death metal overall album goes to Tom Mold, and Tom Mold deserves top 5 best albums of this year in my opinion. And the album cover is pretty nice too. So yeah, nothing more to say. Now we will go to the most disappointed, and this is only 5 albums that I have here, but I was very disappointed when I hear them. So we will go to them now, and we will start with a band called Smolder with the album called Violent Creed of Vengeance. I was very disappointed when I first heard this album. It does not feel so epic as the albums before. It's not even as doom. It's more of a hard. They still have doom metal in the sound, of course, but it's not as doom metal heavy as before, which I don't like. It's more of a hard rock, more of a straightforward feeling towards it. So overall a disappointed album, and takes the top 5 disappointed albums of 2023 place. Number 4 is Spirit Adrift, Ghost at the Gallows. Here the program that I did make this decided to make everything in big letters. I don't know why, but just decided to do that. I did try to change that, but it did not work. I can say almost everything I said with the Smolder album here. It's very identical in my feelings. Not as doom heavy as albums before. The vocals is very hit and miss. Sometimes it works for me with the vocals, sometimes it does not work with the vocals. It's very more of a straightforward hard rock with little bit doom metal left in the album, but I prefer the older stuff with this band. This album takes number 4 place of most disappointed albums of this year. And I want to say that if you like this album, that's fine. I don't judge that. If you like it, that's fine. We have different tastes. That's okay. Next up is Catatonia with the album called Sky Void of Stars. First off, I must say the vocals in this entire album or entire band is extremely good, very good. That is the standout for me with this band. But everything else is just very meh, very straight up, boring. It's very just very boring. Maybe not the right word, but it's very forgettable. It just proves that a good singer does not save you, don't save a band to not entertain me, which is like, yeah, that's fine, but the vocals is very good, of course, but the overall album is not that great in my opinion. So I was disappointed, but because I did heard good things about this album before I listened to it. So number 3 of this list of most disappointed albums of this year goes to Catatonia. Next up, I think I will make a lot of hate in the comments below for this. But number 2 is Crypta with the album called Shades of Sorrow. The mixing on this album is not the greatest. The bass is too overpowered. With the Tom Mold album before, that was in the best albums of the year list. Yeah, it was present, the bass on that album, but it's had a more of a fine line. Here, the bass on the entire album is very overpowered, and it's very difficult, for me at least, to focus on something else than just the bass. And I have also never connected with the vocals, even when she was with Norvosa. I have forgotten the name in the hand right now, but the name on her, but I don't connect. She's very good front woman, and I will not take that away. If I will see them live, I want so they can sign the album for me, but the vocals just, it's very I hope she can mix it up a little bit more for the next album or next EP. Just try to mix it a little bit more. I think that makes it a little bit more interesting for me, because the hype around this album was insane. It was was insanity how the hype around this album was when they were released, and I was waiting a little bit because I was not a fan of the first album either, but I did choose to listen to it, and that's maybe the only reason and the main reason that this album makes the list of most disappointed albums of this year. I was hoping so much more of it because the hype was so big, But number 2, Crypto. And the most disappointed albums of this year, this is just not even a doubt, if you can, I don't know if that is correct term, but Immortal War Against All. I don't know what to say really about this album. It's very the most disappointed feeling I have for any album all year goes to this album War Against All. It's boring, straightforward black metal, whatever. I will forget about this album like in 2 or 3 months or even quicker. It's very forgettable album, but at least it's very short, so the pain or the bad feeling you have in your stomach goes away a little bit quicker. So yeah, I don't understand what, because you have so much more better black metal albums this year, so this album is not even top 100. I don't have listened to that much music this year, as I said, but even if I have listened to 100 albums of this year, this album will not make that list either. So that will not be mentioned for me. If I will mention top 100 albums of this year, I will not mention this year that album. So yeah, I don't know what to say, but yeah. And back to the top 10 best albums of 2023. We will end this video with a little bit more positive feeling around your aura. And the band called Nytland and the album called Torem. A unique experience. It have a lot of calm feeling towards it, and how the music is created, how the vocals are created. The atmosphere is amazing. It's very chant, very Heilung inspired music. Very chant. I don't know if that's the correct word. Name, but it's very, I don't know, very nature like the music and the atmosphere, and it is deserving this place for me, at least, for best albums of this year. Number 5, Nytland. Number 4 is Enslaved with the album called Heimdall. Here you have a black metal album that is more interesting produced. It's more intriguing. It's more the awesome paths with the instrumentations, awesome clean and harsh vocals. Overall, a very good album. So here you have one of the better black metal's progressive metal albums of the year. Viking metal, or whatever you want to call it, is better than Immortals, and that's the most important thing to notice. Yeah, nothing more to say about this album. It deserves the place, number 4. Next up is Atavistia, I think you say that. Cosmic Warfare. This album have everything: epic melodies, parts, amazing clean and harsh vocals, very epic sounding album overall, very grandiose, very out of the it's very space, very it's very big sounds and stuff like that. So Atavistia, I think you say. Atavistia. Yeah, that was hard to say. Number 3, at least, on the best. And number 2, another black metal album, a little bit more not so much progressive, but a lot more symphonic. And oceans, as in gardens, so in toms. Another great black metal album, or you can say symphonic black metal album. A lot of good melodies, parts everywhere. Very epic sounding album once again. It's very it's just very. It can be a lot to take in first take, but overall a very good album of this year. And Oceans takes the number 2. And final thing, and finally we have come to the end. Number 1, and here I have 2 albums, or from 2 completely different black metal bands. Black Braid with the album called Black Braid 2, and Wayfarer, American Gothic. 2 completely different black metal bands challenge for the title of Best Albums of 2023. Black Braid with a forest-like nature feeling with an acoustic part. Wayfarer with a cowboy feeling all the way through the album's veins. Black Braid with the amazing and intense vocals. Wayfarer with the amazing blend of the sounds from the West culture and black metal sounds. A very amazing blend of that. So we have 2 completely different black metal albums with that are fighting for the number 1 spot of best albums of this year, but I can't really decide which wins, because they are both deserve this place in my heart and my ears. So the 2 share the spot for the best albums of this 2023 year of music. So that was the final piece of this video. Thank you for watching. A lot of thanks. Everyone to watch this video. I did a little bit different than most of the other people that do these lists. So yeah, have a good continued good December, and good holidays, and good new year of the year. Bye bye. Have a nice day, evening, or whatever the time is. Bye.